Islam, peace and love, peace, love, and power, energy, energy, energy. I am Sade Renee L, and I'm back at it again with another video. And today I'm actually going to be going over this document that I'm going to file tomorrow with the clerk of court in regards to my daughter. As we all are aware, she has been trafficked. She's currently being kidnapped by CFS Las Vegas. She's being held hostage for profit. Now, in regards to her being held hostage in the process, now they are trying to vaccinate my child. So I went ahead and created this affidavit of fact and unlawful demand of immunization. Now, in regards to them giving me notice, I'll go ahead and show you a copy of when I was notified in regards to this. All right, so as we can see right here, this is what I received via email, that it was filed 2/11 at 1:13 p.m. So it shows here, notice of hearing. Please be advised that the motion to vaccinate the subject minor in the above entitled matter is set for the hearing as follows: February the 16th, 2021, 10 a.m., courtroom 4. And as you can see, they have the wrong name in regards to Kellogg Tharp Sade. That is the de facto name. I am Sade Renee L, all rights reserved, proper persona, sue juris. All right, and just to show, again, just to verify, they did send this information via email on Thursday the 11th around 1:13 p.m. And Friday, the courts are closed in my territory, Las Vegas, Nevada territory, due to COVID. So I just want to point out the fact that they did not legally give me 3 business days to respond. Of course, I am going to go ahead and file this with the clerk early in the morning tomorrow. But again, they do need to legally give you time to respond, which they did in fact not, because Friday they were closed, Saturday was a weekend, Sunday is also considered a weekend, and today, Monday being the 15th, is a President's Day de facto, but it is a recognized holiday to the de facto corporations. Well, there you have it. Just wanted to show you guys proof of the fraud that they continue to operate in. So again, I'm going to go ahead and resubmit this affidavit of fact in regards to unlawful demand of immunization. Now keep in mind, this information has already been sent and certified. It's been sent to, as you can see, the 8th Judicial District Court. It was sent on August 11th. So this was mailed August 11th to 8th Judicial District Court. Also, I sent this information to Vital Statistics, okay? So I sent this information to Vital Statistics. Keep in mind, no, she does not have a birth certificate, but for the record, just in case anyone has created one without my signature and forging my autograph. So I also sent this to Vital Statistics. As you can see, it has been certified as well. They have received it. So this information was sent and delivered and received. And also, for the record, notice to principal is notice to agent, and notice to agent is notice to principal. Again, as we can see, Vital Statistics and 8th Judicial Court have, in fact, received this information, and it was delivered August the 17th. August the 17th and August the 12th. They did receive it. Okay. All right, and before I continue, I actually just want to go over a few quick definitions. I'll start with unlawful. And this is in the Black Laws Dictionary 5th edition. I'll read as follows: that which is contrary to law or unauthorized by law. That's State versus Chanet. That's 20 NM 181, 147 P. 283, 285. It also reads as follows: that which is not lawful. Now that's State versus Bullet 175 LA .21, 142 SO .787, 788. The acting contrary to or in defiance of the law, disobeying or disregarding the law, while necessarily not implying the element of criminality, it is broad enough to include it. And that's Surgeon versus Crossby Mortuary. That's 140 NEB 82, 299 N.W 378, 381. And I also want to mention to you guys what an unlawful act is. So an unlawful act is an act contrary to law and proposes that there must be an existing law. Now that's State versus Campbell 217 Iowa 848 251 N.W 71792 A.L.R 1176. And it also reads, in criminal jurisprudence, a violation of some prohibitory law that includes all willful, actionable violations of civil rights and is not confined to criminal acts. Now that's State versus Haley 350MO.300165 S.W 2D422, 427. All right, and again, for the record, it is against our religion to participate in any type of immunization or vaccinations. It is against our religion to participate in any type of vaccinations or immunizations, for the record. And I'll read religion. This is located in the Black Laws Dictionary, and I'll read as follows. Religion, man's relation to divinity, to reverence, worship, obedience, and submission to mandates and precepts of supernatural or superior beings. In its broadest sense, includes all forms of belief in the existence of superior beings exercising power over human beings by violation, imposing rules of conduct with future rewards and punishments. Now that's McMasters versus State 21OKL CR.318, 207P.566, 568, 29A.L.R.292. And I also read, it says one's views of his relations to his creator and to the obligations they impose of reverence for his being and character and of obedience of his will. It is often confounded with cultus or form of worship of a particular set, but it is distinguishable from the latter. People, XREL, Fish versus Sandstrom, that's 3N.Y.S2D 1006, 1007, 167, miscellaneous 436. And I'll stop right there. All right, and again, I'll read, it says here, it is against my religion, as protected by the United States Republic Constitution, Article 1 of the Bill of Rights, not to engage in any way with immunization and vaccination process. All right, now let's read the Bill of Rights. Not a problem. And all of this information is definitely verifiable online. So the Bill of Rights reads as follows, Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Right. So with that being said, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no law, okay, that says we must inject. There's no law saying that they have to vaccinate my child. There's no law saying that they have to immune her. So I'll read as follows. It also states in this letter, in addition, any immunization is a voluntary process. I therefore choose not to participate in this process. Any further discussion or any retaliation regarding my religion, as it's related to the immunization process or vaccination process, will constitute a violation of my constitutional treaty secured rights. Now, voluntary, that's a pretty good word. Sure, let's look it up. All right, and again, I'm going to be reading this from Black Laws Dictionary 5th edition, and it reads as follows. Voluntary, unconstrained by interference, unimpelled by another's influence, spontaneous, acting of one's self. Now that's Coker versus State 199 GA 20, 33, SC 2D 171, 174. It also reads done by design or intention, purpose, and intended. Now that's Nelson County versus Williams County, ND 276 NW 265, 269. And I'm going to stop it right there. All right, and I also wanted to point out the definition of consent, Black Laws Dictionary 5th edition, and I'll read as follows. Consent. A concurrence of wills, voluntarily yielding the will to the proposition of another. Acquiescence or compliance therewith. Now that's Twin Ports Oil Company versus Pure Oil Companies. And I'll stop it at right there. All right, just wanted to loop that all in, give you guys some background information on the definitions. All right, and I'll continue to read as follows, almost finished. It says here, the sole obligation of government as stipulated in the United States Republic North American Constitution Article 4, Section 4, as a Republican form of government is to secure, protect, and preserve the rights of the people domestically and internationally. And I'll go ahead and read Miranda versus Arizona. It says, where rights secured by Constitution are involved, there can be no rulemaking or legislation which would abrogate them. Now, again, that's Miranda versus Arizona, 384 U.S. 436, 1966, 491 86S.CT 1603. I also have here Norton versus Shelby County, and it reads, an unconstitutional act is not a law. It confers no rights, and it opposes no duties, affords no protection, and it creates no office. It is in legal contemplation as inoperative as though it had never been passed. Now again, notice to principal is notice to agent, and notice to agent is notice to principal. I had this witness thumbprint by two of my sisters, two of my Asiatic sisters, and it has been notarized and sent. And again, notice to principal is notice to agent is notice to principal. All right, and I also did another affidavit because they want to get funny with words. So they use the word vaccinate, but my letter specifically states immunization. So I went ahead and created another affidavit of fact in regards to vaccinations. And I'll read it as follows. One moment. Actually, before I continue, I wanted to point out Deborah Rose. She is the one who signed off on this, and she now just became a party to the matter because I honestly don't know who this lady is. Like, I don't know who. She came out of nowhere and just decided to be a party to the matter. So there you have it. She has now officially became a party to the matter, and I have today produced a delegation of authority request for her, a quo warranto. Just because she wants to be a party of the matter, she can go ahead and prove to me that she has jurisdiction. And I'll go ahead and show you guys a copy of the quo warranto that I have produced for her. One moment. So as you can see here, this is called a advertisement of jurisdiction. It's a quo warranto. It can also be considered as a delegation of authority request. And I'll go ahead and I've read several of these on a few of my videos, so I'll kind of just read, she's acting as judicial executive assistant. Her name is Deborah Rose. Today is the 15th of February. And if you scroll down to the second paragraph, it says, all government entities and alleged private corporations must be a creature of the American Constitution. This is a formal request and command for Deborah Rose to produce for the record the physical documented delegation of authority as proof of jurisdiction as required by law per Article 3, Section 1 of the United States Republic Constitution. Now, I'll also just read the last part. It says here in quotations, whoever have taken an oath before a competent tribunal, officer, or person in any case, in which a law of the United States authorizes an oath to be administered, willfully and contrary to such oath states or subscribes any material matter which he does not believe to be true, is guilty of perjury and shall be fined no more than $2,000 or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. Now that's 18 USC 1621. I know we bounce around sometimes, but I appreciate your energy and just stay with me, all right? Almost finished. Thank you. And again, this is in regards to case number J20351-056P1. And it reads as follows. For the record, and let the record show, I, Ashe Divine Ill, in proper persona, ex relatone Ashe Divine Kellogg Tharp, am a Moorish American national aboriginal indigenous natural being manifested in human form and not nom de guerre, straw man, or any other artificial corporate construct, as written in all capital letters, as written in the unclean hands of others. I am sovereign to this land, and as such this administrative judicial court does not have any jurisdiction to hear, present, or pass judgment in any matter concerning my affairs under a quasi-criminal sanctioned tribunal of foreign private law process. I, Ashe Divine Ill, ex relatone, all capital letters, Ashe Divine Kellogg Tharp, do not consent to any vaccinations. For the record, it is against my religion, which is protected by the Bill of Rights per Article 1. I, Ashe Divine Ill, ex relatone, all capital letters, Ashe Divine Kellogg Tharp, do not consent to any alternatives in my DNA or blood. And it reads, motion to vaccinate me, Ashe Divine Ill, ex relatone, all capital letters, Ashe Divine Kellogg Tharp, has been denied, for I am a living being and I make my own decisions for my living body. Failure to cease and desist is proof that this agency court tribunal, namely Deborah Rose, acting as Judicial Executive Assistant in Child Family Services Las Vegas, is attempting to bring injury to me, Ashe Divine Ill, and deprive my liberties and attempted genocide. Substantive point number 1. Waivers of constitutional rights, not only must they be voluntarily, they must be knowingly intelligent acts done with sufficient awareness. Now that's Brady versus U.S. 397 U.S. 742, 748. Substantive point number 2. Under the United States Republic constitutional system of government and upon the individuality and intelligence of the citizen, the state does not claim to control one's conduct to others, leaving one the sole judge as to all that affects one's self. That's Mulger versus Kansas 123 U.S. 623, 659 to 60, excuse me. And it also reads, further, I state for the record, I, Ashe Divine L, ex relatone, again, all capital letters, Ashe Divine Kellogg Tharp, have not entered into, nor do I wish to enter into any contracts knowingly, willingly, intentionally, or unintentionally with Child Family Services Las Vegas and Deborah Rose, who's acting as Judicial Executive Assistant. Whereas, when no contract exists, there is no obligation. In order for an obligation to exist, a contract must exist, and it must not have adhesions, must be concise, and cannot be unconscionable contract that violates substantive rights of the people, lest it is void ab initio. And whereas any demand to compel me to act or perform must be a lawful demand. Whereas this court is acting under statutes which are not law, any applicable law must be produced for the record. No statutes can violate the rights secured by the people in the supreme law, the American Constitution for the United States of America, established to protect the rights of the people, of which every state, state constitution, state court, charter, subcharter, chapter, subchapter, association, agency, agent for the agency, entity, corporation, etc. They all must abide and cannot abrogate them, namely Deborah Rose, acting as Judicial Executive Assistant. In closing, I, Ashe Divine L, ex relatone, Ashe Divine Kellogg Tharp, I do not, under any condition or circumstances, by threat, duress, or coercion, waive any rights unalienable or secured by the Constitution and treaty, and hereby request the court fulfill their obligation to preserve the rights of this petitioner, a Moorish American, and carry out their assumed judicial duty in good faith. And again, notice the agent is notice the principal, notice the principal is notice the agent. Comes now, Ashe Divine L, sui juris, and proper persona. So before I close out, I just want to go over a few more definitions. I'm going to go over involuntary servitude, and I'm also going to go over intimidation. Involuntary servitude, again, this is Black Law's Dictionary, 5th edition. Involuntary servitude, and it reads as follows: the condition of one who is compelled by force, coercion, or imprisonment, and against his will, to labor for another, whether it's paid or not. And I'll stop right there. All right, and we also have here intimidation. Intimidation, Black Law's Dictionary, 5th edition. Unlawful coercion, duress, putting in fear. And I'll stop right there.